on the bump, the chicken subscribe. Look at the chicken subscribe. This chicken will belong to you. This chicken belong to you. Want to learn how to be responsible, right? Don't give the chicken the treat. The hen chicken sit down, lay eggs. Pull the bag. I love you. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abby. Heartily welcome you guys back to the Caribbean and back to my small container garden here in Trinidad. Guys, this morning there are two tasks that I want to particularly get accomplished this morning. I particularly have this planter right here that is completely rotted out. It was built out of pallet wood, and I want to get it all cleaned out. And I also have the soil that is inside there that I need to discard of. Don't want to keep it here because you recall I mentioned that I wanted to convert this space into an area where I keep meat birds. So that is one task, which is cleaning out this planter, as well as the other task of setting some seeds so that I can get that germination process started and get this ball rolling so I can get my garden up and running. One reason why I'm opting to do seed starting is because I've found that when I buy plants from the nursery, I tend to bring home aphids. I tend to bring home, right now I don't have an aphid infestation, but I tend to, anytime I bring plants from the nursery, I tend to just see these aphids popping up everywhere. So just to have a little bit more control as regards the pests, I am opting not to buy starts. I'm opting to be patient and just get these seeds started at home with whatever medium that I have at home. Right now I have like a quarter bag of some soil left. I'm going to be using that to get my seeds started and get my garden rolling for this year. So without further ado, I'm going to get started with ripping out this planter, and as I go along I'll figure out what I am going to do with this soil in this planter. Don't step on that wood, it has nails poking out of it. Don't step on the wood, okay? And get some fresh greens. So I love the vibrancy of this flower. This is called a morning glory locally, and I don't think I ever want to be without it. I just love the pop of color in the garden, having the flowers. What is even more lovely is when the hummingbirds come by and they want to partake in the the nectar found in this flower. But this flower, be aware, this flower is quite invasive. It has runner roots, so the roots go out and it sends out more more plants. So I will never plant this directly in the soil in my garden. I will always have it in like a planter where I can contain it. So if you ever have this plant, I would suggest containing it in a container because of the invasiveness or the invasive nature of this plant. This other plant here, this vining plant, we consider it a weed here in the tropics. But I wanted to have a blue flower. If I can find a nicer one. I wanted to have a blue flower in my garden. And this is the only blue flower that I could find. And the vines is a nice filler, like an ornamental filler. And that pop of blue in between with the purple was also very, very nice. That's a plant that I can easily replace. This plant the chickens love. We call it broadleaf thyme. Some places call it oregano, a type of oregano. But the chickens love it. And my sole purpose of having this plant, because I have another one for myself, was to let it get wild so that I can have a lot to give to the chickens. So these are the two boxes that I'm talking about. These two wooden boxes. I have, I think, about 3 or 4 boxes in the back already with ginger in it. And I want to fill these two with ginger as well. So that'll be like 6 months of ginger planted. We use a lot of ginger in this house. We're known as the ginger family. We put ginger in everything. Ginger is just a delightful rhizome to have. So I'm going to plant these two in these two containers using this soil. Very dry soil right now. You guys know I was away for a while, so it wasn't getting watered, so it's pretty bone dry. So I'm gonna shovel this in, and I have some dried ginger that's sprouting inside. I'll put that inside the box. I also have a third wooden box, and I think I will put dirt in that as well and plant some turmeric in it. This soil, I'm pretty sure, is devoid of much nutrients. So I'm just going to fill it 3/4 way and fill up the rest of it with some chicken dirt from the previous time I cleaned the chicken coop. I have some in a bucket. They're composting, it was dry composting. So I'll just put some inside of this box or these boxes to amend the soil. Whew, that took that took some effort. So I got all there cleaned out, nice and clean looking. I have a bunch of rubbish. Get me a nice garbage bag to put that stuff in. And the next task that I have is to plant that ginger and that turmeric out in those little boxes. But right now, guys, it's so hot. I need to cool down. So I will pick up the camera a little later on this evening. Right now, I think it's about midday. Whew, I gotta get inside. Got to get inside. So see you guys a little later on. Okay, guys, I made it back out. It is evening, much cooler, much more manageable. Oh, I was going for the turmeric. So I have now just to finish planting the ginger and this turmeric. Well, this turmeric has been here. It died back. It shoot back up. But this box is completely rotted out. This box is being held up by this ivy vine. So this box has to be removed. And all this dirt, I gotta find a new home for it. So what I want to do in the interim is to move all this turmeric from here and replant it in a box. Turmeric it's not something I personally use a lot of. My husband more uses it. It helps him with his pain when his joints becomes inflamed. So what I tend to do with it is I tend to grate it and mix it with a little honey, you know, so that he could just use a spoon, a tablespoon, and spoon out that mixture into his teacup or his thermos and head on his way to work. So he uses turmeric more than I do. I'm not a big fan of turmeric. If I do use it, I like to make it with condensed milk, that nice spice tea. That's when I will use turmeric. And I also use turmeric when we're making something like Spanish rice, that yellow rice. I will use turmeric for that. But I have a few rhizomes I know in here, or corms in here, and I am going to harvest out these and transplant into the new box right away. But before I do that, I have to amend the soil in those boxes. So let me do that. Okay, so before I amend the soil in these boxes, let me show you guys how my current ginger is doing in it and why I consider it to be a good idea to plant in these boxes. Alright, so this is how it's looking with the same boxes. This is a newer one right here. And I planted these gingers about 3 or 4 months ago, and they they look really healthy. They're very happy in this soil. This is a lot of the chicken coop material in here. I keep topping it up. Now ginger grows horizontally. It doesn't grow down. It's a rhizome that just skims the surface of the soil. So that's why you would get away with something like that. That's probably about 5 inches deep or 6 inches deep. That's perfectly enough space to grow ginger. Once your soil is rich, healthy, full of the nutrients, you're going to get great ginger from it. Ginger loves a lot of moisture, and it also likes partial shade, in my opinion. Ones I have tried growing in full sun, they always struggle and the pieces were always small. But ones I've done in partial shade have always been plump, rich, juicy, delicious goodness. So this is my current ginger patch. I have ginger in other areas in the garden as well, but these are my current gingers, and I'm going to put some more in. Okay, so these are the dried pieces that I'm talking about. That you see that they're sprouting. So ginger doesn't need to go, you don't want to bury it too far. Like I said, it doesn't grow down, it grows across. So I just leave my shoots on top of the soil. I have a ginger's planting video, older one, but if you want to check it out, you could go and check my older videos as to how to plant ginger. But that's what I do. I leave it up a little and the ginger does its thing. This one has a little bit of growth as well. I'll stick this one in here. And give it a good drink. And that's it. Easy peasy. I will also mulch this to try and control the moisture in this box. Here's the ginger. Where did I put it? Right here. Put something on top so that the water doesn't evaporate. I mulch it so that the water doesn't evaporate quickly tomorrow and it stays nice and moist. Okay, so now that the ginger's finished planting, I am now going to set you guys down here in this planter, and we're going to tackle this turmeric. Get as much turmeric as we can, and the extra pieces that we can plant back, we're going to plant back in that box. All right, so let's see what is in here. Let's see what is in this. My son, do not throw down the shoes over the ledge, please. Okay. Let me get all the pieces I can. It's a good, it's a good, it's a good set of turmeric in here, I think. Okay, so we have some plants that we could plant back right away. Yeah, could plant that back. Could plant this back. And we got some nice pieces of turmeric in here. All right, so I'm gonna plant back. Ooh, look at this one. This is a good size. Ooh, look at this one. This is a good size. A good size piece. A friend of mine said once you have turmeric, you will have turmeric forever. Because pieces always remain in the soil. Lovely soil. Believe it or not, this soil is mostly the fence, the trimming of the hedge. I just kept dropping those leaves down in this box and eventually it filled up. It's doing really good. Very strong, strong turmeric scent. So we have some pieces that we could plant back and I'm gonna plant them. I'm gonna plant them now. Honestly, I don't know the nature of turmeric, if it grows down, if it grows across. It looks like it grows down. So let's experiment with this box and see if it does well with the turmeric. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's it for today. Thanks so much for spending some time with me. And thanks so much for all your advice. I want to say a special thanks to Eva for giving me that advice to brace it even more. I will. That's something that I'm going to do before I go inside. I have found some extra pieces. They're punch angle, but a little smaller, and I'm just going to use it in the corners like so. And I'm going to brace this thing. I'm going to brace it up. So thanks so much for your comments. Thanks so much for your likes. Thanks so much for your encouragement. You know, anything you see me do that you think that I might need to adjust, I'm all welcome for suggestions. We are always learning, and I'm always sharing. I love sharing with you guys. So until we see each other again, take care. Bye bye.